Good evening and welcome to the City of Boynton Beach City Commission meeting. Today is Tuesday, February 3rd, 2026, and the time is 6 p.m. We will now turn to the city clerk for roll call.
Mayor Shelton,
Present.
Vice Mayor Hay,
Present.
Commissioner Cruz,
Present.
Commissioner Turkin,
Present.
Commissioner Kelly.
Here.
Mayor, you have a quorum.
Thank you, Maylee. We have Reverend Amelie Ash will lead our invocation, and Commissioner Kelly will lead our Pledge of Allegiance tonight. Let's stand for the invocation and the pledge, please.
Let us prepare our hearts for a moment. Wonderful God, thank you for every seat that has been filled here today. For each mind and heart that fills the presence of this room, we thank you. Only you truly know what we are setting out to accomplish today. We have an idea, vision, hints, and daily instructions. We have talents and abilities. However, only you can see in perfect detail the end of every beginning. Each project, every season, every life. Nothing is ever in vain, for even mistakes and missteps are used for good. Your righteousness transcends all our efforts and understanding. May we work together on peace and success for the people of the businesses and the first responders and those leading our beautiful city. Bless this meeting today, all those that are present, as well as the lives of those we will encounter afterwards. Ready us to make every moment count this evening. We pray in our hope to you. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America and to the republic
for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. We are now moving on to the agenda approval, additions, deletions, and corrections. Let's begin to my left with Commissioner Turkin.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I just want to walk on a community support fund request. $750 for Imagine Chancellor athletic program. Yes, part of 5A, that's correct.
Commissioner Kelly.
No, Mayor. Thank you.
Vice Mayor Hay.
Nothing for me.
And Commissioner.
Nothing for me.
Thank you very much. Do we have a, hold on. City staff has requested that a resolution be added for approval as 10B. There's also a request to table items 8A through C to a date certain of February 10th, 2026 at 2 p.m. The items will take
6 p.m.
approximately, 6 p.m., sorry. The items will take approximately 30 minutes. At this time, I'd like to request a special city commission meeting for February 10th, 2026. Thought it was going to be at 5:30.
What are we doing?
They didn't call you?
Okay, so items 8A through C need to be tabled. So rather than having them wait another 2 weeks for a meeting, we were going to do a quick half-hour meeting before the special or before the CRA meeting at 6 p.m. So we had to renotice
Is there
it
a
today.
reason why it has to be tabled? They're not
There was
okay
an
with-
issue with publishing, and there wasn't proper timely notice within the 5 days. So we just want, in an abundance of caution, to make sure nothing can be challenged, to just do a quick 30-minute meeting before your CRA meeting on the 10th, so we can address items 8A through C.
And we do that at 5:30. CRA is at 6,
Well,
so,
we have it at 6 p.m.,
okay.
and that's the new notice that's been
Okay,
posted.
so
So
we
if
could
we
push
could leave
CRA.
it at 6.
Okay,
The second reading for most of it, it might not take a whole half an hour.
right.
Yeah, it should be quick.
Is
And
that
so
new-
I'm sorry?
No, is that new information available if I come by your office there to get a copy of?
Well, it's nothing new. It's just that the notice was inadvertently published only to the city website and not to the Palm Beach County's website.
Oh, okay.
So
Fine.
it was just a clerical error that we've now remedied, but we want to make sure you have to do pursuant to the statute full 5 days notice.
Gotcha.
Okay, do I have a motion?
Mm.
What was the other? Sorry, there were so many things being, so then,
So we're adding an item as 10B, and I believe you all received phone calls about that today, and there will be a presentation regarding that resolution. It's approval of a contract.
Okay.
And then if there's a consensus, a special city commission meeting for February 10th at 6 p.m. And then we would just need a motion. Go ahead, entertain a motion now to table
So move.
8AC to February 10th, 2026.
February 10th.
We have a motion to table items 8A through C to the date of February 10th at 6 PM. We have a second. All those in favor of approving the agenda as amended, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say nay. Motion passes unanimously.
And just for clarification, was there there was a first and a second with regard to the motion to table? Can we just have a vote on the motion to table?
Motion to table items 8A through C.
Second.
We have a motion to table items 8A through C, and we have a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion passes unanimously. Okay. And moving on, we will move on to informational items by the members of the City Commission. Let's begin on my right with Commissioner Cruz.
Nothing for me, Mayor. Oh, wait, sorry, actually. I do want to give a couple thanks. I want to give thanks to Andrew Mack and our engineering department for helping the residents that came to the commission meeting. It was a pretty immediate response, and I just want to give props to all of you for your hard work. And then I also want to thank the city manager and the police department, Mr. Bonafair and the chief, for really helping out our homeless population this weekend when it was really needed, and purchasing blankets, distributing them to the most needy in our community. So thank you for that.
Vice Mayor Hay.
Yes, I'd just like to give a thanks to staff for coming out to our community meeting on, I think it was Monday, to answer questions about the parking, and there's still some questions and follow-up on that. So I just wanted to thank staff for doing a great job and fielding those questions. I do believe that there are other concerns that will be addressed, and there were some ideas that were brought up that we're going to take a look at. So I just want to, again, thank staff for coming out.
Commissioner Kelly.
No, Mayor, I don't have anything. Thank you.
Commissioner Turkin.
Thank you, Mayor. No, I just want to thank Kevin, Will, and Chief Bonafair for hosting our Forest Park Community Meeting. It was a pretty good turnout, a lot of good questions, a lot of good feedback regarding the Pence Park situation and the water feature. And so I look forward to see, what we can collaborate and come up with as far as a redesign for that park.
Next on the list is city announcements. Can I please have city staff come up to make their announcements?
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioner, City Manager. I'm Stephanie Soplop, the Compliance Coordinator, and I'm here to give you a couple announcements for some fun February events we have happening this week. So this Thursday, inside the Ezel Hester Center Gymnasium at 5 p.m., we have the Magic Wheels and Special Deals. The Magic Wheels and Special Deals is a free event for the public, a disability resource fair, an inclusive, family-friendly event. We'll have vendors, food, entertainment, and the VIP viewing of the Magic Wheels reveal. The Magic Wheels is a special design that's created for a child who uses a mobility device. This year we have 11-year-old Mason. He's adorable. I can't tell you what the Magic Wheels is going to look like. You have to come to the event to see. The Magic Wheels are kept a secret until the event, so everyone will get to see the reveal all at the same time along with the child. So that's this Thursday inside the Hester Center at 1901 North Seacrest Boulevard at 5 p.m., and we hope you can attend. And then after that, we have on Saturday the barrier-free 5K event taking place at Barrier Free Park at 7:30 a.m. That is a 5K walk, run, or roll event. So we want people to join us and register for that. You can be a serious runner, you can be a walker. There's an option for a 1 mile and a kids dash, so everyone gets to participate. And again, that is this Saturday, February 7th at Barrier Free Park at 7:30 a.m. You can register online. Any questions? We hope we see you there.
Any questions? Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, so we will be moving on to public comment at this time. A citizen may be heard concerning any matter within the scope of the jurisdiction of the commission. Before we begin public comment, I want to explain how we're going to handle it tonight. We have a large number of speakers, and we want to make sure everyone who wishes to speak has a fair opportunity. Public comment will still be limited to 3 minutes per speaker, and we will take public comment for up to 1 hour, and then we will continue with the regular agenda. And any remaining public comment will be taken at the end of the meeting. If multiple speakers are here to share the same or very similar views, we encourage you to select one person to speak on behalf of the group. Through anyone who wishes to speak individually will still be allowed to do so within the time limits. I ask speakers to stay within the time limits and focus their remarks on the matters within the commission's jurisdiction. And these guidelines are intended to be applied evenly and to help the meeting proceed in an orderly and fair manner. Would you like to make your comment before people line up for public comment?
Thank you, Mayor. I know a lot of the residents are out here in reference to 14-5, the changes in the city's parking ordinances. I can tell you that we've heard about the numerous streets where this is going to be an issue, and from a logical standpoint, I can tell you what we'll do is we'll do some engineering evaluations for those streets, and if this specific ordinance isn't enforceable towards those streets, towards those homes, the city will not levy any sort of fines towards those. And I can tell you that we've heard some additional requests from the community to where they would like to see in a little bit more of a educational period. So from an administrative standpoint, I'd like to extend the educational component 1 month to March 1st, so city staff can get out into the community and make sure that the residents are very, very well informed of what these changes are, how they affect public safety, why they're being made, and then we can come back, and as of March 1st, then we can kind of move forward and maybe reevaluate.
Excellent.
Thank you. So if anybody does want to come up and speak, now is the time. We ask you to line up at both podiums so that we can keep it moving and alternate each side. So yes, if anybody who's going to speak, come on down and line up. Come on up, sir, and please state your name.
Hello, my name is Joel Barsky. I'm a resident of Boynton Beach. I would say I'm a native of Boynton Beach, and I come because I'm not sure who to report this issue about. I live near West Woolbright, and over in West Woolbright and Southwest 18th Street is a real big issue when it comes to a lot of car crashes. As of yesterday, there was another big car accident, like a lot of vehicles. And this has been going on for years now. I've been seeing this get worse and worse. And I would say the line that really has me like kind of angry about, I want to say back in November, there was a really horrible accident. And I just got there from work, and I watched the firefighters try to pull this, the person that driving the car that was kind of stuck inside the vehicle. And in front of me was a guy filming it. So I found out a couple of days later, it was an elderly lady that actually died in that accident, and the guy that filmed it ended up posting it to some Instagram website, and it actually went viral. So I don't know if, again, I don't know who to report this to, but I feel like a lot of people that come off of I-95 that are heading, I want to say, my directions are a little wrong, but just heading west, are speeding really fast. And a couple of times I've almost been in an accident only because I'm aware that, people are driving really fast. So it's been a couple of times that has happened to me. So I just want to, maybe there's a sign that could be right in the middle of the road, like flashing lights, just letting people know to slow down or something like that. Because it is getting, like I said, for years, it's getting worse and worse. And I guarantee, if someone, I don't know if you have analysts that look into this stuff, but I would say, definitely every month there's definitely a horrible car accident. And I want to say back in, November, I want to say when that death happened, that was really bad. Another area I would say is West Boynton Beach Boulevard, where it crosses near Checkers, where it crosses Old Boynton Road and Northwest 8th Street. That's another area that's pretty bad, but it's not as bad as that area. Last thing I will mention, I thank you, Mayor, for attending the MLK Day, the community service event. And I attend that every year. And the first year I did it, I got to meet with Vice Mayor Hayden, got a chance to meet him and talk to him a little bit. I just wish I could have seen more of all of you to attend to that event. I attend it every year, hoping to see some of you. But I know I was privileged to see Mayor Shelton there, but I just wish I could have seen more of you attending to that event. And there was a lot of kids there, and it's just a pity that I see kids showing more concern to the city than some people here. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, please, you, sir.
Hello, everybody. My name is Charles Hunt. Many of you know me. I'm back. I'm here to let you guys know that we're not trying to overdo what you're saying, but we're trying to let you know our condition. See, we want to say, please, don't try and change our neighborhood, because we don't live in an HOA. We live in the hood. And we want to continue our living styles, whereas you've already told us that we can't have anything on our carport except a car, which I ain't being charged $75 a day. Now you're telling us that we can't park on our grass, when that's our grass. We own that, we pay for that grass. Can't park in the front nor the back. We can't afford your style of living. We don't make that much money. We need you all to understand that we want to live decent, and we try our best to live decent. Parking on our grass don't harm anything. I don't think you all have the right to tell us not to park on our grass. We respect you a great deal, and we put you there. We're just asking you to listen to our desires. I'm a military retiree, so I got a chance to move. But I came back to our neighborhood, which we call the hood. And we want you all to understand that living in our carport and so forth and grass, we live outside as well as inside. Please don't try and stop us or take our homes, because that's what will happen. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, please.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, members of the dais. Pastor Richard Dames, 407 Northeast 17th Ave, Boynton Beach. I want to echo what Commissioner Hayes said as far as our appreciation for staff coming out to the community meeting on last week. Unfortunately, many of the residents left with more questions than they did answers. Thank you for the extension that you've offered us. However, I would like to propose, City Manager, that when you talk about the engineers coming out, it means nothing to the residents. However, there were a lot of good solutions that was proposed in the community meeting. So I would like to see if we can set up a meeting to bring some of those proposals to you that might work in District 2, because what's good for District 3, 4, or 1 may not necessarily work in 2. And so we want to be partners in this. It appears that it's being dictated to the residents what they can and cannot do. But I do believe that there is a way around this. Hear the hearts of the people. There are some great, great recommendations that came, and that's what we're asking. All right, thank you.
Next, please.
Good afternoon. Recognizing the dais, citizens of Boynton, Mike McCray. I heard what you all said, that you were going to revisit this and tweak it. Just like Reverend James said, what's good for all over the city is not good for everybody. District 2 and 3. Let me give you some history about District 2 and 3. A lot of you don't know what went on in District 2 and 3, but years ago, we only had 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, and 13th Avenue. Those was our streets where Negroes was allowed to go and come. We had shotgun houses on 10th Avenue where you stood and looked from the front door to the back door. That's our history. Now, you all are telling us that we cannot park without you all knowing how we lived before. It's nice to want us to live like 2026, but we can't forget what happened in 1976, 56. If you owned a car back then, your family, you was somebody. And if you got too low and behold, you was hell on wheels. And you all are telling us there's parking problems in District 2 and District 3. Let's be honest, there's parking problems all over this city. Look at City Hall. We got parking problems here. I voted for you all to put a parking garage down here with taxpayers' money. I'm still looking. When we make decisions, stick to the decisions that we make and don't try to undermine and do something with the money. If you don't know the history about Boynton, learn it, ask us. We don't mind telling you all. My street that I live on, if you come over and tell me that I got to put a swell in, sidewalks and everything, I live on a corner lot. It's going to be more problems. Hear us out. You all don't know our history. We know our history. We're trying to tell it to you all. As we celebrate Black History Month, why don't you start by asking some of the older people that live here in Boynton what went on before you all got here. You all need to know our history. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, please.
Good evening, everybody. Staff, city manager, mayor. My name is Willie Roberts. I'm a resident at 249 Northwest 28th Ave. I have a problem with people's parking in the road. On the opposite side of the road, the wrong side of the road, and in front of my house. Yes, I have a problem, okay? I don't like it. And when you're coming out on 28th also, I see they done cut some of the hedges back. They ain't cutting back far enough where people can see. The stop sign is here, and the marker is there, or either vice versa. So that's a dangerous intersection right there. I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm still waiting on the stop sign. I'm at the speed bumps in there too, because we need them. They still speed.
Thank you. Next, please.
Good evening. My name is Alicia Lewis. Not to beat a dead horse, but going back to the parking ordinance, because I just want everything to be placed officially on record, as stated from the community meeting, that as stated that you guys would have code enforcement or whoever coming out to hand out educational material. And all of that is fine and well, but that educational material still doesn't answer questions. All it does is tell us the rules that you guys want to enforce. My house, I currently have 3 vehicles in my driveway. 2 compact cars that don't fit end to end without crossing over the sidewalk. I drive a Silverado. Nothing's going in my driveway once that Silverado is parked. There's no options. You guys tell us we can't park on our grass. That's not an option. We can't park on the swell because that's city property. It's city property up until June, July, August when it dies, and I'm getting a letter telling me I gotta pay to replace it. I have a child, one going on 21 in college. I have an 18-year-old getting ready to graduate, headed to college. Life is a struggle now for my family, to then turn around to have to worry about if I'm gonna wake up in the morning to an extra cost in my life being a fine because there's a vehicle crossing over the sidewalk. I have a fenced yard. I can't even take down a portion of my fence to park on my grass that I have to pay to maintain, that I have to pay the water bill to keep it green so that I don't have to get a fine. Your educational material is not educating me on anything because there's no answer. What is the resolution? If I can't park in my driveway, I can't park on the side of the road, What is the educational material to do for me? It does nothing because I still have to park my vehicles. So where do I put them? The options came up last week, or possibly down the road, maybe we can figure out getting cars maybe parked on one side of the road certain days a week. My cars are safer in my driveway. I don't have to worry about somebody sideswiping my car in my driveway, hopefully. I don't have to worry about somebody coming by just being malicious and scratching my vehicle in my driveway. Parking on the side of the road, if somebody were to break into one of my vehicles, who'd know it until the following morning when we get up and see that something's wrong or there's a vehicle gone. At least in my driveway, my dogs hear it first and we have fair warning. So the educational material is great, but it doesn't help us because you guys aren't giving answers in the educational material. You're just telling us what's about to be enforced and pushed upon us, but you don't know our struggle and what's going on in our daily lives. A lot of us can't afford, even if it were to come up, afford to expand driveways. That's not an option because I'm not lying. Some days I have to debate groceries or gas.
Thank you. Next, please. Sir?
Good afternoon, Ray Whiteley. And first of all, thank you for beginning to review the parking ordinance. That matters. It shows that you heard community. It shows you're willing to reconsider some areas in the ordinance, and we don't take that lightly. Many families felt the impact of the ordinance immediately. They felt stress, they felt pressure, they felt uncertainty. That's why people showed up at the community meeting, and that's why they showed up tonight. Residents came and told the truth about their lives. Multiple generations living under one roof. More cars than older driveways were built for. Rising costs, tight budgets, no easy fix. And they refused to be silent. And that's democracy at its best. Coming together was not about opposition for opposition's sake. It was about responsibility to our neighbors. They met, they listened, they showed up. And because of that, you're reviewing parts of the ordinance. We appreciate it, we see it, we respect it. We also want to be clear. We want safety too. We want safe streets. We want order that protects people, but not policy that burdens them. As you review this ordinance, we ask that you truly center family, center history of community. Consider who this policy affects most. Consider the cost of working people. Consider the unintended consequences. We're not here to fight. Like Pastor Dame said, we're here to work with you. But partnership requires policy that reflect the real lives of community. Tonight, this is what community looks like when government listens. Neighbors showing up, residents speaking honestly, leaders paying attention, system adjusts to what's needed. We're not going away. We're going to stay engaged. We will stay present in this process because this is the Boynton Beach that we love. These are our streets. These are our cities. Thank you for beginning to review, city manager and staff. We look forward to an audience that keeps us safe and reflect who we truly are in Boynton Beach. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Next, please, sir.
My name is Ted Williams Sr., Vietnam veteran, born and raised here in Boynton Beach, 74 years. When you looked out and saw this audience, first thing you thought we're going to all come and be concerned about the same thing, about parking. But no, we come to make a difference here in Boynton. We're going to flood every city council meeting. We want to put 3 and 4 blacks on up there where y'all sitting now. That's our goal. We know the parking ain't the thing. What you're concerned about is our property. Having fines build up where we are not able to pay. 3 or 4 years when I die, you could take it from my child. You want to put high rises. We understand. We see what's going on. You want to put high rises from probably 95 all the way to US 1, from Fort Pierce to Miami. We understand what's happening. But from now on, we're going to have a meeting like this. Every time you look around, we're going to be in y'all meeting, and we're going to stand up.
Would you like to speak? Anyone online?
Thank you, Your Honor, and members of the diocese. I'm Pastor Emily Ash of the First Presbyterian Church. I wanted to share with you that one of the results of the parking decision is that we are the recipients of all their overflow. So if someone has 4 cars and they only have room for 3, we're finding the 4th car. Some cars have been in our parking area for over a month and never moved. So we don't know what to do about that, but we are trying to figure out something. But we are, and I'm sure other businesses might be receiving, because where are they going to put those cars? And I'd like to add just one more thing to the first gentleman that spoke about the intersection of Woolbright and 18th. The woman he spoke of was my next door neighbor. And I was very clear. One of my person that works in my office said, oh, that's one of the most dangerous intersections in the city. So I was cute on this. Maybe a month ago, I almost got sideswiped by a BMW. And then a couple of weeks later, the sun was bright coming down west, coming directly from the west. And I thought, the sun's in their eyes, I better wait. And sure enough, a beautiful Escalade went blowing through. So I'm here just because I was thinking about what was going on, but I know that others don't. And so I really do hope you will give some more thought to than just signs, but something flashing or something. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. And again, if anyone wants to speak, please line up at the wall. Yes, sir.
How y'all doing? Boynton Beach, Florida, Torreor. I'm talking about the ordinance, and I'm talking about District 2 and District 3 as well. And we got, I didn't say, I know District 2, we don't make but $28,000 a year over there. $28,000 a year. And 65% of single-family homes. The minute you tell them, the mom, the grandma, the granddaughter, or grandson staying in one house, and they got the house since the 70s. So the driveway is not long, and they're not wide. They're only good for 2 cars. And then y'all say y'all gonna have the Boynton police with these people at night. When they go home, the Boynton police are gonna be doing their thing at night, ticketing people. And then like the man said, you're gonna end up losing your house through fines. Is this where we going at in 2026 in Boynton Beach? Because everybody up here is doing pretty good. You know, I know y'all doing pretty good. You know, public records. You know, everybody don't have the fortune to have, you know, a curved driveway. Unless the CRA gonna come up with something and say, well, we're gonna help out District 3, District 2, y'all gonna come down and get funded, and we're gonna pave you, we're gonna extend your driveway. Because in other than that, who got $10,000, $12,000 sitting around? Because this is going to become a hazard. You're going to become a habitualizer, ticketer. They're going to start getting you multiple tickets, then start putting liens. We know when the liens come, then you're going to start liquidating assets. So this is the way the seniors are going to lose their houses, because they stuck on a fixed income. You know, I just don't understand that, you know. And some people saying, they told me, a lot of people in the community, older people telling me, I've been grandfathered in. I had this house 50 years. I can't expand it. I got to come down and get permits. Do you know the permit process, Mr. Woodrow? You know, it ain't the most easiest thing to do when a person's 70 years old, 80 years old, trying to come down here and understand the language. So, you know, we just hoping that, you know, thank you for the month, extended. You know, I hope when y'all do come to the drawing board, I just hope the whole city of Boynton is there. And y'all not making decisions on your own, because everybody need to be there. That's a city thing. It's affecting everybody, even when y'all going and, you know, living out of these seats. If you live in Boynton, it's gonna affect somebody in your family too. You know, so I hope that y'all, you know, appreciate the 30 days, you know, we appreciate that. But we just hope that it be some solutions instead of not just forcing or telling us exactly what y'all gonna do.
Thank you. Next, please, to the left. You, sir, to the left. You're up.
Hello, good evening. My name is Trenton Player. I'm Charlie's business partner and co-CEO at Tree Branch Entertainment. Since Charlie serves on the local board, I wanted to take a moment to introduce myself as well. I understand you all have a lot to go through, and I know for a fact that Tree Branch Entertainment is always welcome to help you all out and the community as well. I understand there's a lot of problems, and us at Tree Branch is always welcome to help everybody. Thank you for the time and the effort that you put in, and thank you for allowing me to put a face to the name, and I appreciate the time. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Would you like to speak? Step on up to the podium.
All right, good evening. As you all know, my name is Charlie Holder, and I serve on the Boynton Beach, the Building Board of Adjustments and Appeals, and I'm also the CEO of Tree Branch Entertainment, local business here located in Boynton Beach. I did introduce myself at a previous meeting, but I figured heading into the new year, I wanted to put a face to a name for not just the board, but also our local residents as well. I wanted to reintroduce myself and the company. I look forward to our continued engagement and hopefully opportunities to partner on city initiatives that can directly help and impact our residents. So thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone online?
No, Mayor, there's nobody online.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd like to make a few comments. First of all, I'd like to thank staff and the community for agreeing to sit down at the table to try to resolve some of the outstanding issues that's been brought up here tonight as well as at the last meeting. My thing is that if you're not at the table, you're on the menu. And for too long, District 2 and 3 and some of the others have been on the menu. What I'd like to say here is that you notice most of the people that talked tonight about the parking were from District 2. And there's a reason for that. And we may as well admit it, we don't want to. But when many of those homes were being built back in the 50s and 60s and 70s, the city or whomever just sort of turned their back on some of the requirements that should have been met. Some of those homes don't even have driveways. So where are they going to park the cars? And so what I'm saying is we have to take into consideration errors that were made way in the past. And now the citizens today are having to pay for those. But we can come together as we are going to do and find some answers to these extenuating circumstances. One size does not fit all, and we need to not attempt to do that. So I'm very appreciative. I want the people to come out, Reverend Dames, Ray Whiteley, and all you guys, get the people together to come and discuss this rationally so that we can come up with the best solution that will fit not only District 2, but 3, 1, and 4. We are a city, and we live in one city. It may not be your problem today, but it could be another problem tomorrow that we all need to step up to the plate and find solution to these issues. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Public comment is now closed. Moving on to the administrative portion of the agenda, we have the Community Support Fund request for the following. I have a request for $500 for the Boynton Beach Garden Club. Vice Mayor has 3 requests for $500 for the following organizations: Girl Scouts of Southeast Florida, Pathways to Prosperity Mental Health Program Services, and Pathways to Prosperity. Commissioner Cruz has a request for $1,000 for Young in Faith. And then Commissioner Turkin was $750 for?
To Imagine Chancellor's Athletic Program.
Imagine Chancellor's
Youth
Program.
Athletic Program.
Okay, may we have a motion to approve the Community Support Fund request made?
Second.
Okay. We have a motion to approve the community support forms and funds, and we have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes unanimously. We will now be moving on to the consent agenda. If my colleagues want to pull any items from the consent, let's begin on my right with Commissioner
None
Cruz.
for me, Mayor.
And Vice Mayor Hay,
None.
Commissioner Kelly,
No, thank you.
and Commissioner Turkin.
I'd like to pull 6D. And
Six
then
which one?
6D, and then make a motion to approve the rest of consent agenda.
Second.
Second.
We have a motion to approve the consent agenda. And a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Okay, motion passes. Commissioner Turkin, would you like to begin since you pulled 6D?
Thank you. I just want to thank the city manager's office, Sheila, for this informative pamphlet. I hope this is getting out to the residents. We do have an election coming up in March for some referendum questions based on our charter. And so I highly suggest everyone take a look at those questions. This is an opportunity to practice the ultimate form of democracy where the people get to make the decision on a charter amendment. And so, you know, what I'd like to see from the city is even more extensive marketing and advertising of this and what it is, obviously to remain unbiased, because I've been talking to dozens of folks and a lot of people are unaware that we have something to vote for in March. And so, you know, we're about a month away, and I want to make sure that all the resources, the time that the city staff, supervisor elections have put into this, and the charter committee have put into this does not go to waste or fall on deaf ears, and that we really aggressively inform the residents that there's, you know, a few things for us to get together and vote on.
Great. Moving on.
So, make a motion to approve 6D.
Second.
We have a motion to approve 6D, and we have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes unanimously. We will now move on to consent bids and purchases. If my colleagues would like to pull any items, let's begin on my left with Commissioner Turkin. No. And Commissioner Kelly.
No, thank you, Mayor.
Vice Mayor Hay.
No.
No.
Excellent.
To approve.
Second.
consent.
We have a motion to approve the consent bids and purchases, and we have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes unanimously. Moving on to, we tabled, okay, 10. The first item on the regular agenda will be the discussion regarding a proposed e-bike ordinance. Staff, do you have a presentation? I believe that's
Mayor, our
the-
police department will be coming up to lead this discussion.
Excellent, thank you. Okay, I see where she added it. Somebody just start.
So the police department put forward a e-bike ordinance to address some of the issues that we've seen primarily with e-bikes riding on the sidewalks within the city. Although we've had a number of accidents, we haven't had, with e-bikes, they have not been directly related to the bikes traveling on the sidewalk, but we've had a numerous amount of complaints regarding e-bikes traveling on the sidewalk. So we looked at some of the ordinances throughout the state, one of which came from Key West, one came from Jupiter had an impending one that we looked at. They hadn't put it forward yet. And we took quite a bit of the information from Key West and eliminated some of the information because they have special pathways and whatnot in Key West that we don't see here in the city of Boynton Beach, and focus simply on the sidewalk and put forward a proposed ordinance for you all to look at, make any suggestions or changes to it so we can address the e-bikes that are on the sidewalk and those complaints that we've seen. You know, we see e-bikes are very commonly used. They can use the roadway just like bicycles, and primarily just like bicycles, and operate in that same fashion. They can't use the bike lane, but they can use the roadway. Well, actually, we're not restricting them from using the bike lane in this ordinance, so they would be able to traverse on the bike lanes as well. It's simply to keep them off the sidewalks. So that's in essence what the ordinance addresses. I don't know if the commission has had an opportunity to review it and take a look at it, but that's what we're putting forth today. We would entertain any questions that you all have.
Mayor, if I may. So just for clarification, this ordinance would allow the use of an e-bike on the roadway and the bike lane, just not the sidewalk?
Yes.
Okay.
Correct. Yeah, we want to keep we want to keep those e-bikes off the sidewalk for obvious reasons,
Sure.
right? You know, the pedestrians should primarily be on the sidewalks. Regular bicycles can still use the sidewalks. It's preferred that they don't, but they can still, because it creates that congestion and that problem, the battle between the motorized vehicle and the pedestrian, right? And, you know, the pedestrian's not always going to be able to react quickly enough, or the motorcycle, or the e-bike user may not be able to react quick enough. And we're eventually going to have a tragedy where we've seen elsewhere in other parts of the state, we've seen tragedies.
Okay, yeah, that was my only question. Because I've seen a lot of use, and, you know, certainly a lot of people rely on that for transportation to their employment. And so I just want to make sure it's not being banned outright. The sidewalk thing, I can understand. Bike lane should be allowed, roadway should be allowed. You see a lot of metropolitan cities where they have the scooters. People love them, people that hate them, but they are authorized on roadways there, and it's a great means of transportation. So as long as, you know, there's still ability for utilization, I'm okay with that.
Any other questions?
So I talked about this on Thursday night, our agenda review. Always my concern when we're looking at these ordinances, it comes down to, and we've heard lots about this, about education and really about the whole safety aspect of an ordinance like this. But there's a speed component also when it comes to what's prohibited on the sidewalk and what's not, right? Because
Yes.
you know, we have children that ride the scooters to get to school, and if they're traveling on a slower, smaller motor e-bike they're safer on a sidewalk than they are riding on the roads, in particular on some of our highway roads that the county maintains. So my concern with having an ordinance like this is that we're creating then more issue. I feel like I understand the safety component 100%. I walk in the mornings. We have e-bikes, we have e-scooters at all hours of the day, using them to get to work. But if we're not educating on the safety aspect of it, then we're kind of doing this for nothing. Because I feel like we're just creating more laws, but we're not really providing a mechanism for people to utilize them correctly and safely. So, for instance, I see them in the mornings, it's pitch black outside. It's currently state law that any bicycle or any self-propelled vehicle has to have lights. So as it stands right now, that's already a law, but we're not enforcing that. And so we're not then educating the public that they should still be wearing helmets and they have to legally be having lights. So I feel like we're adding laws that then we're not really enforcing the ones that are already on the book. And so I spoke about this on Thursday night, that, there's so much more education that we can already be doing with these e-bikes before we even consider going down the road of creating an ordinance, because I feel like this is gonna be an ordinance and it's gonna be on the books, and then we're still not gonna be enforcing it. We're not gonna be doing anything unless there's a tragedy or an accident, and then you can cite the e-bike driver because he was on the sidewalk instead of on the road. And so I'm kind of in the field of let's get to educating and really focus on the education aspect of it, and making sure that our riders and parents and everyone who's purchasing these e-bikes knows that it's already the law that you need to have lights, and you need to be wearing a helmet, and you need to be doing all of these other safety components before we start creating laws that then that we're, then having to enforce, or we only really enforce them when we have to, or when there's an accident, or when there's something. So I'm glad we're talking about this and having this discussion, but I think there's an education component that could already be in the works and be done, that that can be enhanced. And I know the MPO has attended a couple of our, the Metropolitan Planning Organization has attended some of our events to do a bike safety and that sort of thing. And I think that there's some partnerships that we can do to educate the public as opposed to just creating ordinances for the sake of creating ordinances. So those are my thoughts on this. I'm happy to continue having this conversation, but I think jumping in and creating an ordinance without an education plan is kind of for naught. So those are my thoughts.
Commissioner Kelly, one of the things that we are seeing in the city with regard to risk management, we haven't had a tragic event, but we are seeing people going at high rates of speeds on our sidewalks that are resulting in compound fractures and accidents, and then the city is getting sued because our sidewalks are not built for the speed that you would see on a roadway. And so we have had several accidents within the last 6 months involving the e-bikes, which then is, if there's a rock on the sidewalk and they're hitting that at 30 miles an hour, and then we're getting sued over something like that. So that is one of the issues that we are having. So I do agree with the education component. I certainly do, but it is certainly starting to cost us more money.
Right. Mayor?
Additionally, just as far as the education component goes, for the last, I believe, at least 3 years, we have had partnered with IPTM, which was also on the agenda tonight, for education as far as bicycles and motorist safety as well. And as part of that, we've been out handing out bike lights for the bikes at night that we have seen without them, front and rear lights, educating them on proper use on where they can and can't ride, as well as educating drivers who violate pedestrian and bicycle right-of-ways as well. So we're doing education on both sides as far as the bicyclists, pedestrians, as well as a motorist also. So that has been in the works, like I said, for at least the last 3 years that I know of, and it could be beyond that as well.
Okay. Just a few comments. Many of those you've already addressed. But we all know that e-bikes and e-scooters and whatever you want to put an E to, they're increasing, okay? They're increasing. Every time you look around, there's more and more and more on the street. So I guess we, as a city, plan on those places where we can add additional lanes for these increase in the e-bikes and stuff like that. Not only that, how are these e-bikes measured in terms of speed? Is there a cutoff for how many cc's or what? Because some of those e-bikes, they pass me like I'm standing still and I'm in my car, okay? So I'm just wondering, and it was just mentioned about the number of accidents that's happening. This is going to be, it's here to stay. I believe it is. And I think we will be proactive here to get ahead of the game, which we are, and just kind of take a look at what can we do to help out, slow down, or educate. We talked about the educational component, which is highly needed because a lot of us don't know the rules of the game here when it comes to these bikes. Some of these e-bikes are on the sidewalk, and a lot of people are having to get out of the way. Some people on their bicycles on the right side of the road trying to ride in the lane, which there is no lane, so they get on the sidewalk. So it's a big challenge to us. So I just wondered, where are we in terms of the city long-range planning?
So obviously, as far as adding lanes, that's a conversation we'd have to have with engineering as far as what's feasible even to add additional pathways for them. The e-bikes are definitely becoming a growing popularity, and they're definitely here to stay from my belief as well. as far as the statute goes, there's limited at 28 miles an hour. Anything over that is no longer considered an e-bike. And some of these e-bikes weigh up to 70 pounds as well. So if you have a 70-pound bicycle, e-bike traveling at 28 miles an hour and they hit a person, it's most likely going to cause injury. And that's obviously one of the concerns about us trying to separate the two of them so the pedestrians aren't getting hurt or the bicyclists as well. But that's what we're trying to kind of define it more so everyone is educated on where the proper use is of these devices to keep everyone safe.
I think what's important to note here is that these, we're referring to them as recreational devices in our definition, which I'll read it real quickly, shall mean electrical bicycle, motorized scooter, or other micro-mobility device. The term shall not mean bicycles, mopeds, or any self-propelled or motorized vehicle capable of exceeding 28 miles per hour. So that should not, but that being said, what's important to note here is these devices, if they're utilized on the roadway, just like a bicyclist, is required to obey all traffic laws. So if I'm out Saturday morning riding my bicycle, I have to stop at the stop sign or the red light. And if I don't, I'm subject to being given a traffic citation for not doing that. To answer Commissioner Kelly's, or to follow up on Commissioner Kelly's statement, as far as helmets are preferred, but they're not required. So the law does not require a bicyclist and/or a person operating with a recreational device to wear a helmet. That's still their decision. So, unless we were to put an ordinance in the city and/or the state were to enact a helmet law, which we've seen that bantered back and forth at the legislature, and they've chose not to do it. So we have to recognize that we can educate that that's the preferred method. We deliver helmets from the PD and the fire department, and we get together and we do that and we educate. We've had those events, but we can't control what an individual's going to do, but we can hold them to the traffic laws and the rules of the road when they operate these recreational devices on the roadway as well, and we could cite them if they're on the sidewalk. So,
Thank you.
Comments?
Yeah, I just want to follow up. I think Kevin Brodelsky hit it right on the head. You can ask someone to wear a helmet till you're blue in the face. Ultimately, it's that person's freedom, no different than seatbelts. Should you wear one? Yes. Are you going to get a ticket if you don't? You could, right? But ultimately, it's that person's freedom if they're going to do that or not. I think if you take a wipeout on an e-bike, you're probably going to wear a helmet the next time. And so sometimes we have to learn those hard lessons. So I don't think it's resourceful to push common sense, right? And spend resources to say, hey, wear a helmet, don't ride at night. It seems like the police department's already doing that. Those are pretty common sense things that, I wouldn't allow my kid to ride a bike at night. You know what I mean? I think I'd be pretty practical with that. And so, ultimately there's things that the city just can't do. Families and parents are gonna be in control of their kids. They're gonna decide, and people are gonna make their own decisions. And I think ultimately here, we're talking about the safety. If the sidewalks, there's a lot of people I see on Seacrest, that walk, their kids with strollers down the street, their little dogs, e-bikes come, they fly past them. A lot of times they'll come off the sidewalk, come right back on, and yeah, I didn't know that they were 70 pounds. That's pretty crazy. They're pretty heavy. So
Yeah, that is.
Imagine that hitting you at 30 miles an hour. That's, pretty dangerous. So I'd rather, if I had to gamble and have someone upset with me for having them ride on the road versus a pregnant woman getting hit, or a woman walking, her baby in a stroller, I'm going to go with the latter. So, I'm all in favor of pushing this forward. So with that, I'll make a motion to approve.
It's not actually before us. Today is just a discussion item and to see the commission's taste if this is something, we have a proposed ordinance, which we could certainly bring forward at the next meeting.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay.
Good.
I do want to say real quick that I have received, and I don't know if any other commissioners have received the emails from multiple residents with those concerns of getting hit by a really fast bike. So I do want to thank you guys for taking the lead on trying to be proactive on this. I do agree with Commissioner Kelly when it comes to education. And I know some things are common sense, but sometimes people might not always, common sense isn't always so common. With regard to the lights at night, I think that makes a lot of sense, not necessarily not driving, not riding, but just having that education and that awareness. And again, it should be common sense, but it's not. I would be okay with having some structure for the speeding of it. I don't want to get too into depth with the other stuff, but I think that the speed is a legitimate concern. It's been sent in emails by multiple residents, and I would definitely support that.
Thank you.
The speed is kind of addressed in the statute as well, and in the ordinance, because there's 3 different classifications of the e-bikes, which are listed in the proposed ordinance as well, as far as the pedal assist, the fully electronic ones, and then throttle assist ones. So that is defined as well for different classes of these e-bikes.
Any other comments before we move on? Thank you very much for this.
Thank you.
Look forward to bringing Bob back. The second item on the regular agenda will be proposed resolution number R26-022, an approval for an agreement for school zone speed photo enforcement services, successor to the piggyback agreement between the city and Vera Mobility. Staff, would you like to give us our presentation, please?
Joe DiGiulio, Chief of Police. So recently we found out that the contract we piggybacked off of with Vera Mobility with the city of Tampa was terminated. So we have a limited amount of time before bringing it forward to, with a new contract, and that's what we did. Just a little history. We did find out that Tampa terminated that contract. It was due to Florida Department of Transportation, FDOT's rulings on where the speed cameras can be located. The city of Tampa did not provide any permits because they felt that the locations of the cameras didn't follow the Florida Department of Transportation's rules. Because of that, Osceola County paused their program as well until there was a clearer definition of the FDOT rules, as well as what a judge is going to state. Recently, beginning of this year, 2026, FDOT expanded their rules and their definitions, and the cameras were allowed to be located outside the actual physical school zone as long as it was within the posted school street, being the yellow triangle signs. Recently, as of last week, Osceola County judge ruled that the placement of those cameras were properly placed within the school zone location. But we are here without a piggyback contract, so the contract before you is essentially it's the same terms and conditions as the Tampa contract, same term, 5 years. This contract has 3 one-year extensions if we chose to do so.
Okay. Any questions from my colleagues?
Just some clarification on, so the original contract was 5 years, the piggyback one from Tampa?
Tampa was 5 years, and I believe there was 2 one-year extensions.
Okay, does signing this agreement restart the clock for 5 years?
Yes, it does.
So
Because
that's the issue I have, because I always want to have the opportunity to go back to the market and see if there's a better deal. So I don't know if there's an opportunity to maybe renegotiate that and come back with an opportunity to continue that contract from when it was originally executed, which I think was maybe a year or 2 ago.
So the contract term under the Tampa agreement didn't commence upon execution. It commenced on your go-live date. And so
Okay.
we're looking at September or October, so you're really looking at a 5-6 month period in a difference. I mean, if you would like for us to adjust that term, I'm sure that's something that we could talk to the vendor about, but we're not talking giving them multiple extra years. It was that contract, the actual 5-year term began to run at the go-live implementation point.
Yeah, if it's from the go-live date, that I feel more comfortable with that.
Okay. Any other questions?
No, just a quick comment. I did have a call with legal earlier, addressing some concerns about what's being proposed today. And on a general sense, going forward, you know, as a commission, we're here for 3 years. I would not, and I'm talking for other things in the future, I would not want to make decisions for future commissions after I'm gone. There's only a couple years left. So just thinking about that in mind going forward, if we could do like maybe 3-year contracts or things like that for other things would be good. My concerns were addressed during the phone call, so I don't have any additional comments other than I would prefer to go the route of competitive procurement based on the fact that the piggyback is no longer active. And that was the reason for the contract. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Great. If there's nothing else, do we have a motion to?
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion to approve proposed resolution number R26-022, and we have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed say nay.
Nay.
Motion passes unanimously. Does anyone have any final comments for tonight?
4-1, Mayor.
Oh, 4-1, sorry. Motion passes 4-1. If not, may we have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Second.
We have a motion to adjourn, and we have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion passes with no further business to discuss. The meeting is adjourned at 7:06.
You got done good, kid.
Jesus.